Tammy, you found me. Hooray. I had scheduled that post in the Facebook group to go live at 12:55. And I thought that should be a good time because it's not after the class is already starting and you're panicking looking for it, but it's not too far away to where you're like, where was that link? So, okay, good. April found us too. So we're slowly getting used to this way of doing class. I'm glad that we're figuring it out and it's working out great as long as y'all can find me. Tell me in the comments how y'all found it because Brittany also was going to email it out and she just got the link. I don't know if she had time to get it to you, but she was going to email it out if she got the link in time. And so we're all actually, not only you are like, where do we find this? But everybody is trying to remember, how do we do this? And so it'll become a habit, but it takes a few times to get it figured out. So, okay, the post. Yeah. You came to the group. Okay, good. April, did you find it that way too? April, look, it's already ready. I got it. I got you packaged up, ready to go, girl. Congrats on the giveaway. You found the Facebook post. Okay, the email. I'm not sure if she was gonna. Since I was doing Divas and Doodles, I couldn't send her what I needed to early enough. So I'm just glad y'all are here, and I'm glad the people in the Facebook group saw it. And there's always the replay, so that is wonderful that y'all have a chance to do the replay. What I wanted to tell you before we get started today is for mystery lettering this month, we're going to do this bag, and I'm really excited about it. If you want to try to get one like what I got it at Hobby Lobby. It was only $3.99. It's cheap. Now, I looked online and they were sold out. So I don't know, but here's what I'm going to recommend. Oh, good. The email came through. Get a bag that has canvas on it. Now, this is a burlap bag, but I didn't paint on that. Well, I did paint on one and it was a nightmare. Painting on burlap is so hard. Painting on fabric is more your friend. So even if you just get a canvas bag, it doesn't have to be like this at all. The templates that I made are the size of a sheet of paper, so that might help you kind of decide. But you know that you could always cut the template up and make it could be it as well with my soul, and then the flowers could go on the top or on the bottom or whatever. You could always adjust it. Oh, I'm glad you're excited. And then I just love the tassel so much. To me, they make the bag that I thought y'all might want to learn how to do the tassel. You'll have to tell me though, because I don't want to make something I don't care about, but I just think they're cute. Here is the other one. You'll get this template as well. So you'll get two templates. This bag, good question. Let me get my little, I had a ruler. Hold on. I had a ruler. Well, I don't know where that ruler is, but I've got a paper that has a ruler on it. Here we go. Okay. So this bag is about 12 inches by, I think it's 12 by 12. It's pretty close to a 12 by 12. And canvas bag. This one's 12 by 12. The pocket, though, the pocket is not. The pocket is hang on. I'm confused. Okay. The pocket is 9 inches by 9 by 11, something like that. But again, remember the template I'm going to give you. If you want to use my template, you could cut this, you could move that somewhere else. Or some of you, I haven't given these out, April. This is not today's lesson. This is me telling you about mystery lettering, which is the last Tuesday of this month. It's actually a 5th Tuesday. And we're doing it then because on the Tuesday, the Monday, last Monday, sorry, y'all, we've moved it to Monday. It's on a Monday. You want to learn how to make the tassel? Yay, Michelle. Yay. Okay. No worries, April. So you don't have any of this yet. I'm just telling you, this is what's coming if you want to make it with me. Here's what else I needed for the class. Not for the class, sorry. For the bag is gesso. Now, some of you have bought gesso recently because you knew we used it for Bible journaling, but this is not the same gesso. This one's white. Okay, this is white. Could you use the clear? I mean, probably. I don't know. you could sample it on something. But this, okay, if you paint just on fabric, your paint is going to just seep through it. That's why you need something like this gesso. It is making like a, what do you call it? Primer for you. Okay. And then a black, any kind of black, you don't need this brand or whatever. I just happen to have this one. You just need a black marker for your lettering and then just acrylic paint. I have Walmart. I mean, it's just nothing special paint that I used for this. And you can get those for like 50 cents to $1. What else? And this is just scraps of a bunch of different ribbons that I had. But what makes it bulky is I did put some fabric in here. So if you have fabric, you can rip it and make a filler. So you don't use all your pretty ribbons, you know, underneath. And then I got this little wooden bead, and it just has a hole big enough to put some yarn through. So just make sure that if you want to do something like that. But this is a bunch of strands of ribbon laid out, put together and tied. I mean, it's very, very simple. And I got this and this at Walmart. I know I got those there. This one's from Walmart too, this yarn. So I got some yarn there. And then the others I actually had scraps left over from other things. Actually, my favorite way to get scraps is to go to Michael's. And Michael's has scrap fabrics that you can buy by the sets. And that would be a great idea to make. But here you can see I filled in with some scrap fabrics. It just makes it bulky if you like that bulky look. But these also, that's from Walmart. I just like the stripes. It added a lot of whimsy to it. But it's all scraps. Okay. So that is what we're doing at the end of this month. I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. Since I know you're going to ask, but that bag was only $3.99 at Hobby Lobby. I thought that was great. Okay, welcome to Scripture Art class. So glad that you're here. I gave you some different templates, okay? So the first template I gave you looks like this. Now, Jenny did post these. I did see them in the group. And then I also gave you a template that looks like this, okay? So this template and this template. And these are a family. And what do I mean by that? Well, to create this and to create something like this with all the words and you're trying to get them balanced and everything, you need a map. And this is the map, okay? And so what I wanted to do, instead of just jumping into this, I wanted to teach you and show you, how do you do this yourself, right? So I've shown you on a small scale, a very small scale, like how to, or to take hold on. I showed you on a small scale to take a circle and then, write a word and fill it in and then erase the outside. Of course, I'm not erasing the outside, but once you erase it, it's kind of like fits in an oval. It's a puzzle piece. And so these are puzzle pieces as well. And to get you started on this, let me put it side by side again. I shouldn't have put this already on here, but I did. Okay, so this section right here, these are the flowers. And I'll do it in a second with you. Give your burdens is here. To the Lord is here. Oh, and he will care for you is all on this one. It's not a perfect map. It's just, it guides you. He will not permit the godly. And then there's an oval in here. I forgot what that said. Something and fall. Psalm 55:22. And then there's a little flower. When we get there, did I cut that off? I don't know. When we get there, I'll show you. Okay, so I'm going to take an erasable pen to get started. And to slip, thank you. To slip and fall. That makes sense. Yay, I'm glad you love this. So think of when you're designing something, arches are fun. Arches really gives personality to your words, right? So if you'll look, I did give your burden. So I'm doing it with an erasable pen, so it's really easy to erase. But give, I'm just trying to fill in the space. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and do burdens because I want to make sure I can fill that in. And I did that with print. But I really want to fill the space in good. D, E. I'm watching as I go to see how close I am and everything, how big I can make the letters. And then I'm going to fit in because I know how much space I have left for that. And how do I get these letters lined up just right? It's just practice. It's totally practice. You just get better as you do it, for sure. Thank you, Jackie, so much. Okay. And then to the Lord. So Lord, I'm going to fit in Lord here. I want to fill up the space with Lord. And I made my L with this long, fun tail. And then, but I do want to leave some space at the top so I can fit into the okay. And he will care for you. That's 2 lines. So if it's helpful for you to make another line in between here, you could do that as well. And and I'm just doing this quickly to, kind of, see, that's more in the center. Just to show you, this is just an example of what to do. You definitely can just copy my template and that's what I did. You'll see. And see this and, I should have spread it out a little bit more because I'm leaving a lot of space there. So, and he and will, I'll write it really big. Care, I wrote that pretty large. I'm filling in the space the best I can. And then you, I don't want to go down too far and bump into my words underneath. Now, the way I wrote it here, I wrote the 4 sideways because I really didn't have room to do it the other way. But I do have room now, so I'm just going to do it the regular way. But I like it the other way too. I have more space, so if I write it the other way, it might look funny. Okay. I feel like, okay. Okay, he will not permit, and that fits this whole thing. So see how the H, you want it really tall. He will not permit. And sometimes it's challenging to get it all in there. And you might have to do it a couple times. See, this one I'd probably erase and go back and fix that. Right now I'm just showing you, but I would go back and probably put my knot closer together. It's a lot of erasing. So y'all don't always see, you don't see me come up with this. You don't see how many times I erase and move things over, and you see it polished and finished, and that's not how it works. So it's good for you to see me erase. Okay. He will not, I'm going to squeeze this together a little bit better. And then permit, I'm going to start here. Instead of squeezing it so close together. Permit. Yeah, it can breathe. It needs to breathe a little bit. That's better. And then the godly. So this is where you'll do a banner as well. But I'm just going to do the lettering first. The godly. And stretching that out a little bit. And it's kind of hard to tell with me using this pen, but if I was going to make a banner, this would be a lot of erasing too. And you can see how the permit, MIT, that came up some because that's where the banner went. So like here. Something like that. Wait, that goes right there. That's not right. Hold on. Okay, so this goes down. And then this line goes over here. It's hard with these black lines already here. Here's this. And then I think this goes like this. I need a bigger marker or something to make that show up. Let me look. Okay, so we're going to do the banner. Okay. So from there, there's going to be a line here, a line here, and it's curved. That's what's messing me up, I guess. And then there's that. And this one, the he, you can see I went in on that too. So again, lots of pencil erasing and fixing. So that he, you would erase and move up. Does that make sense? So you would do maybe several sketches of this until you got it just right. And then you go over the whole thing when you got it the way you want it. And then it's the way you want it. Okay. And then an oval I put here. And then I put in and fall really big. To slip. Okay. And I'm going to go up here and show you some of the flowers. So you can use them separately in case you want to draw them some other time. So I started with this kind of the center. I'm going to do a swirl. And you might want to draw this with me if you're got a paper and pen out. And then I just went around and did petals. And they're kind of squarish. And then I did a scallop around that. Okay, so from behind this, I have a rosebud, or a rose, I'm sorry, popping out of there. So I've got a swirl again. To the side though. And then this has its little sides and it's going behind that flower. Does that make sense? So we'll do it over here too. Swirl, swirl, swirl. Two sides. And then I'll make a leaf coming out beside that. And then the flowers next to on either side are a swirl in the middle and then a scallop on the outside. Those are pretty simple. I might want to go bigger. And a scallop on the outside of that. And this is my doodle. This is my sketching out. And then a leaf there. So it's going to look better every time you keep going through it. Here I'm going to do a swirl again. And this is hard to balance it out, but that's where the eraser comes in. Because that could probably move over. Just like a cloud. You could do the scallop first, you know? It's however you want to do it. And then make your little leaf there. And it's not perfectly symmetrical, but we did pretty good. We did pretty good. And then down here at the bottom, we're going to add the psalm. And I guess I did maybe a line right here. Because I did this rosebud here. And so I did a swirl. Not rosebud. I keep calling it a rosebud. It's not quite a bud. So there's that a little bit opened rose is what I'm trying to say. And then a leaf over here to the side. And then a little vine on this side. And then Psalm, I wrote tall and skinny. 55, 22. And then I put a dot on each side just to give it some more something, some more decoration. Okay, what kind of questions do you have about that? It takes a long time to design these. Like, I love it. It's so fun. It's such a great challenge for me. But it does, it's a lot of erasing and figuring out where stuff goes. So tomorrow on the iPad, you'll see how that works too. If you're going to do the iPad class, it's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Okay, and no questions about that. All right, so next, so you didn't have to watch me do that again. I've already written it. I've already traced this, sorry. And so if you're new to tracing, I'm just going to show you. So what I have is, this is graphite paper. I'm going to go ahead and take it off. I've got my template that I gave y'all. And then this is graphite paper. And it just transfers that over. And all I did was just go right on top of this and trace it. And I made sure I taped it down because you don't want it to go anywhere when you're writing on it. So that's already done. So you don't have to watch it. Questions about that? Good, Tammy. Good. And I was wondering if our new student was here. Now my mind is totally blank. I'm going to blame it on perimenopause because I wanted to, if you're brand new, welcome to the tribe, and tell us in the comments because we want to make you feel better about getting started in the tribe and how it can feel overwhelming at the beginning, but you just take one class, one step at a time. Don't try to do it all. Okay, so I know that it's not the easiest thing to see, but that's what we want because we don't want these lines to show up necessarily if we don't write perfectly on top of them. So I'm deciding today, what am I going to use for my medium? We could do gouache, we could do watercolor. There's so many things that we could do. I have my watercolor pulled out and I was going to spray it with some water to get it moist. And then I got out some, I'm spraying the blues and the greens, and that's what my original, let me pull up the image that I'm going for. Okay, so look at this. This is my inspiration for the color palette. I'm going to be using blues. See the green, there's some pinks, blues, greens, and pinks, basically. And if you see behind the lettering, it's a really light blue, or the opacity's turned down. So it's, it almost like looks a little cloudy or white. And then it's got the darker blue behind it. So what I thought on here is that I could, on my words, maybe do a light wash behind it. So like right here, maybe just do a light watercolor behind this. The only thing is I didn't want it to bleed, and I was a little bit worried that it would bleed. So just to double check, I'm going to trace some letters here. And then I'm going to practice on this paper and see. Let's see if that bleeds when I watercolor on it. And my water brushes that I'm using today are just, I pull out random ones that I've had over the years, but these are water brushes. They're not perfect. They're not beautiful, but they work. And then you can squeeze, there's water in it, and you can squeeze and the water will come out. And I'm looking for a really soft, these back down here are so soft and pretty. I think I may start with this. And I hope it doesn't cover up might cover up my letters. As long as it doesn't smear it, but that's really, really vibrant. That's not what I'm looking for. And it's really good to do something like this on a scrap piece of paper, or you're going to not get the results you want. Okay, I need a palette. Hold on. Uh-oh. All my palettes are so messed up. Okay, this isn't going to be super helpful for y'all because my palettes all have acrylic paint on them. I need a palette just for watercolor. That's what I need. But just to show you what I'm doing right now is, so we've got that blue. I'm going to add more water to it because it's too much. So that'll soften it a lot. And that's more what I'm looking for. Does that make sense? But I really do need a palette that's going to, Okay, I'm just going to stick it in here because it's blue. But this makes it hard to see what I'm doing. I'm going to try this green blue here first. That looks like nothing. Just looks like water. I think I'm going to do this light blue. And I got quite a bit of water. That might be part of. Maybe I got too much water. Okay. We're going to wing it. We're going to go for it. And so what I'm doing is just making this behind the, I don't know if I have a screen I could pull up. It has everything I want on it. Look at this one more time. Okay, see how it's got the mask around it? So right where the give is, all the way down to the permit, and then skip the banner, and then do the and fall, and that's it, just the and fall. So what I may do is start with the and fall, so I don't forget where to go. And I'm kind of just making a bubble around this. And I'm doing this ahead of time so I don't have to worry about going over my words, because it could mute them. You know, say I did it with a black marker and then I put this on top and it kind of muted it. So that's why I'm not doing that. Okay, now I'm going to go up here to give and go all the way down here. And we want it to completely dry before we do any lettering, any words on here. Completely dry. You know, the he will, I did not look at that very good. Let me pull that back up. Okay. The he will is pink. The he will is pink, and the two slip is yellow, and the godly is green. So I'm just going to leave those alone and not paint over those. And you find a color palette that you love and want to use. Don't ever feel like you have to use what I use. I love seeing your creativity when y'all post your work. It's so fun. Okay, now this is touching the banner, so I need to be real careful for my next move. Now I want to clean my brush because I'm done with the light pale blue. Okay. Next, I'll just use I'll start with my other brush. I got it. Where'd it go though? Here it is. Okay. So this brush, I am going to do the pink. I was going to pick a pink. This is a pretty pinky purple, but I don't want it too dark, but that's not bad. If it's dark, I can always go over it with a white gel pen. I think this will be good. And I can't wait to see what you use, because you could be using anything right now. You might be using colored pencils, watercolor pencils, anything. Okay, I'm going to clean that brush off. And then I'm going to get some green. I kind of like this green over here. It's kind of a little bit olivey. But before I put it on my paper, I just want to see how it looks. Yeah, I like it. And I want to be careful not to... Now, sometimes it's really fun to blend colors together. I'm not trying to do that today. If I do, it's not the end of the world. But I want the banner to be separate from the rest of it. So it's best to wait till it completely dries. Each section. But who has time for that, right? And I'm just kind of making a little break in between those lines there. And then as far as what I did as the back of the ribbon, I think I did pink there. So I definitely want to wait on that if I decide to do pink there again. Okay, next is a yellow color. Some kind of a golden yellow. I think this is kind of has a little orange in it. See how we like that? Yeah. And then I'm going to put that here. Just paint. It's almost like painting by numbers. It's a lot oranger on my paper, but I'm not doing it exact. We're just doing our version. Now, if you wanted to blend some color here, now that would be pretty. So say I wanted to do a little bit of this yellow with that green. If you felt like it looked good together, you could... Oops. Shoot. Hold on. Trying to think, what can I do to make it not worse? Normally I would get like a paper towel or something and go up there, but I think that's dry enough to just kind of blend it. There we go. Blend it out. There we go. That's kind of pretty. And then this might be kind of pretty to add something that would look good with yellow. It's not too far from it. Like this orange. Let's see. I don't hate that either. Okay. But I don't want all the sections to bleed together, but it's pretty to bleed together some of the banners and stuff. That would be helpful, Jennifer, wouldn't it? Let me see what I can go find, because it'd probably help, be helpful for y'all to see me. I don't have a white plate, but I know I have something I can use. I'll be right back. The reason I'm caught off guard is because my other watercolor sets, they have a place for palettes, and this one does not. Okay, I just got this little bowl. Okay, so now I think I'm going to go through and color some of the flowers. Let's see. Okay, that yellow, gold, orange color. I'll get those wet again. Oh, since I zoomed in, you can't see what I'm doing. Over here. Let's see if I can move this. Hold on. Okay. I'm going for these yellows again. And I'm going to tie in that up here. And what I did is I did it with the flower around the scallop. I'm going to do it on both sides. I probably need a little bit more water, so I'm just going to mix it up in here. That is better. Thank you for suggesting it. And I want to make sure this dries completely before I put what's going to be on the inside of the flower. Depending on how much paint you put, it could take a little bit of time to dry. That's why it's really nice to have a heat gun handy if you have one. Let's see, this one I didn't get probably enough water in. Okay. I went to a comedy show this weekend. It's a Christian women's comedy show, and it's called The Unknown Tour. If it ever comes to your area, you should go. It's a nice girls' night out, and it is funny. Okay, now I'm going to switch and do, instead of the scallop, I'm going to do the petals. Of that. And then down at the bottom, I'm going, no, I'm not. I thought I was, but I'm not. Okay, moving on back to the, I don't want to touch anything. So I'm going to go down here to the bottom. I'm going to get my green. You know, that green I was using earlier. I'm going to get some of that. I'm going to put it over here. Don't be afraid to dab onto your paper towel either if you need to. And this is going to be for the leaf here. And then these little, ooh, I'm not good with details. I did it. And then I'm going to try not to touch. Well, these don't touch, so I can use this right now. And if I don't touch that flower, famous last words. And if you're like, oh, that's just kind of, you can always go back and do another layer and make it more vibrant. Okay, so this is the point where I'm going to get my heat gun out to move things along a little bit faster, hopefully. And we're lucky that I didn't use my erasable pen today because I would have erased all this. So thank goodness I didn't do that. This is real watery, that orange, so it's going to take a second to dry. And you think about what kind of pen are we going to write on the top of this? I know I'm going to need some of my pen, some of it I'm going to need a really, really thin, like a micron pen or something like that to get the fine details. Okay, it's coming together. I think I've almost got it dry, at least dry enough to go to the next step. Now I'm just going to grab my paintbrush and go back. Ooh, that was dirty. And grab, this other one's a little bit better for the point is finer details. Okay. Okay, so let's get the purple. I had this purple earlier. I think it was this one. Maybe add a little bit of water to it. And I made this little flower purple. And it's not going to bleed together with the vine and stuff because I let it dry. And I'm going to do these little roses as well. Okay. Now I put some blue inside of those yellow flowers. So I'm going to grab a blue. This is the one I used earlier. So just to tie in the color, I'll do it again. Are you dry? Did it in the center of that one. That one bled, but that's okay. It's all right. And I had a darker purple on the outside of that, but I need to draw those purple ones before I move on to that. Okay. Now, a darker, more vibrant purple. This is pretty vibrant, golly. Let's see how. And I did it around this flower. This is hard, this part. Because it's just bleeding everywhere now. Uh-oh. I'll tell you why it's hard. Because my brush is not very detailed. It's not very fine detailed. And I don't have a really steady hand. And I'm not good with tedious work. How about that? Some of you may love doing that. Me, I'd rather paint a big picture. So that'll look fine once it gets where it's going. I'll put a little bit of this purple here. Just to tie in some of that dark purple. I didn't mean to put it everywhere, but maybe a little bit more right here. Just to give it some depth and dimension. Are we doing okay? Y'all doing it with me? That's a lot of that purple. I'm going to take a paper towel and dab up some of it. I don't want it quite that much. If you go straight up, you can usually pick up some of what you put down. Just try not to smear it. Just go straight down and straight up. Okay. I think that is everything. Except the edges. Now, I've got to decide if I want to paint watercolor, leave it like this, which I like it like this, or before I trace my words, or do I want to paint the whole page and do this outer part a darker blue like my original? Good, Jackie. What do you think? Y'all give me your opinion. So I'm going to pull up wish I could put them side by side. Huh. Hold on, let me see if I can find it on my phone. Who knows where it is? It's probably far, far away from here. Okay. I'm gonna put it on the screen and let you look at it. So look at this first. It's got a white background, which I think is going to be really pretty and elegant the way it looks. Or I can do this and add a dark background around it. Does that make sense? You can't see it good, but it's right there. So leave it white or darker background. I want to do what y'all want me to do. Anybody have an opinion? If you don't have an opinion, I'm just probably going to leave it white, I guess. Because I know it's going to be pretty like this. Darker background. I knew you were going to say that, Donna. I mean, if you don't try it, you don't know, right? So we got to try it. Okay. What I will do, you're torn, you like both background. Okay. I would want to, if I were you, I'd want to see the background to see if I wanted to do my background. So that's what we'll do. But what I would do if I were you at this point is I would take a picture of it. So you can look later and decide, ooh, I should have kept it, or, you know. And you could still, if you have an iPad, you could still pull this into your iPad and trace over it, like the picture of it. Okay, now we got to decide what color. Do we want to just do the same color, but not make it as, I don't think so. I think I want a little bit darker color. I think this color over here, one of these colors might be what I'm looking for. So let's see. Probably that one. Probably this one. I don't know if it's going to be that much darker. It's not. Okay, let me try the darker. That's really dark. But I'm going to mix them together. You know, I maybe should have, I might should wash it with water first. Let me try that. So I'm just getting water and I'm just going around it. And I think that'll make it easier when I put color down. Hello, Shelly. You are right on time for the fun. This is the scary part. I'm holding my breath. I think on the camera, it's hard to tell how different the colors are, but in person, they are different. They are showing different. And I just kind of wanted a small contrast, but we can go back over it and make it darker. So that's the good part, is that we can always go back and make it darker. Can't make it lighter. Now, if we were doing gouache, we could, but not with watercolor. And we'll just see how it turns out. You don't know until you try. You do, Shelly. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Well, every month I make sure I do it. You know, I make sure that the scripture art is done both. I do it for both, if you do traditional or iPad. So tomorrow's the iPad class. Okay. More water. And I'm running out of this blue. I need to make some more of it. That's dark blue is scary though. And that's quite a bit darker, but that's okay. I think it's going to look good. We'll put some darker places around on the other side too. And I'm leaving white in between, at least right now. Oh, that water got a little bit onto E. I don't want it to get on there. Hi, Marcia. This paper is watercolor paper, and this journal is it's filled with watercolor paper, and it helps to have that because it holds the water. If you don't have the right kind of paper, you don't get the results that you want necessarily. For anybody who's thinking, why isn't this working or looking right? That could be a problem. But I've watercolored on mixed media paper and that kind of thing, and it works. And if that's what you got, use it. It's good for practicing. Now, if you were, making it to be framed or something, then you might want to invest in some nicer watercolor paper than this. You might want to invest in if you were going to frame it. I don't know. This may turn out good. Thanks for asking questions, y'all. Any time you have a question, please feel free. Doesn't it feel good to create? Feels so good. Okay, it's very close to the color that it was. And this is really light, and part of it's because it's falling down. Oh, I got to tell you all about my daughter. So if you remember, or if you know, my daughter is on a trip right now to Asia. Oh my goodness, she's really experiencing a different culture for sure. And I think she's having a good time, but there's a monastery that they went to tour, and it was 6 hours to hike up to the top of the mountain. And she did it. She said, I honestly thought after an hour I was going to die. My heart was racing so bad. But she did it. I'm so proud of her. After you accomplish something like that, you just can do anything. Or you feel like you can do anything after that. But she said, I almost died. I can feel your pain. Because I don't know if any of you remember, but I had troubles with high altitude sickness last time I was in the mountains. Okay, let's try it some. See what we think. But she's in Bhutan, which is near Nepal. And they don't like tourists there because they want their land untouched. They're very conservative. And so if you are going to be a tourist there, you can go there, but it's $250 a day to go stay. Now she's doing a school program, so I don't know how that works, but she's going to the college there, which is kind of neat too, to experience college life over there. So for 3 weeks, she's going to be in Asia. And she sent us videos and pictures, and oh my gosh, it's so cool. It just looks so neat over there, so different than what we're used to. The history, There's a lot of history to learn. This is still so close to the same color that it makes me want to go around and add some darker to it. Okay. So now I'm going to mix up some of this darker color and layer around the edge in some places and see what I think about it. That's more of a contrast. That's better. I may not do it everywhere. We'll see. Just figure it out as I get there. Gonna blend it out just a little. Blend this out here. Are y'all watching? Did y'all watch the Miss America pageant? I did not watch it, but I just saw on social media the winner. I never even know when that's on anymore since I don't have cable. Real cable. Paisley's 22. Thank you, Shelly. I know. I'm so happy for her. So happy. It's like a real pivotal point in her life. She's going to learn a lot of life lessons right now. Because, life's about to get real. A real job and real everything. So enjoy it while you can. Okay, it does a lot better contrast now. Now, on my original, I did polka dots. So we'll have to decide if we want to do polka dots on here or not, and if they'll show up. Probably I need to use acrylic paint for that, if I am. Marcia, if you need to know more about this journal, I can give you the name. I think it's Arteza, and I'm pretty sure it's 5x8. I can measure it though. How many of you have this one? This is actually this is what I use to measure our templates with. Because a lot of people ended up getting these. But the paper is, 5x8. 5x8? Yes, 5x8. And it's a good little book. It's not overwhelming where you have this big, huge thing. Uh-oh. You said I do and I already forgot what I asked. Oh, you do have it. Okay, thanks. Yeah, this is what it looks like on the outside. I messed up my sticker, though. It's kind of a tan color. And then this is the name of it right here. Arteza. And there's other brands. You don't have to have Arteza, but it's a 5x8 watercolor journal. Whoops. And the 5x8 will make it easy for you to have templates to fit. But you can put that on any size, Okay, it's coming together. It looks really different though than when I think I'm done with the watercolor. I'm going to put it to the side for a second. I can always pull it back out. But I need this arm space so I can start writing. Now, it's time to think about what color markers to use. And it's time for my neighbor's machine to come on. I don't know why it comes on, but every Monday at 2, You like the way books open since you're a lefty. Oh, cool. Yeah. So, um, so some of the artwork we've done up and down like this. Oh, I've got to show y'all something. Have I shown you what I did with this? I can't wait to show you. And then these we did this way. That way. And then this one I'm going to do this way. I've got to show you. Hold on. Oh, what'd I do with it? Okay, I took it. If I showed you, sorry, pretend like I didn't. I had it framed. I uploaded it to a website and had it framed in this box frame. Isn't that cool? I think it was called gelato.com, but this is a canvas. But I just took our scripture art. That's what you need to be doing, is taking your artwork and making it as gifts. So there it is. And I turned it into that. Isn't that fun? Love it. Okay, now this actually is my iPad copy. That's why it looks a little different. But I think that would have been beautiful because it has more depth and dimension. But anyway, so fun. And I felt like it kind of looked carved. And it looked like chalk. And the holidays are coming up, so you guys could be having stuff made. Okay, I got my point. Is it point? 0.5 marker. I mean pen. It's a pen. Hold on. It's a Unipen. Unipen. Doesn't matter what brand it is. Well, it does to me. I don't care what brand you use, but it does to me. Because I am not good with a micron pen. I have a heavy hand, and I will push in the nib, the tip. I can push it in when I'm writing. It's crazy. And I noticed that when I taught kids, they did the same thing. So I was like, no more of that. But what you're looking for is a water and fade proof pen. You want to make sure that it's waterproof, because here we are doing all this watercolor. We just want to make sure. Because we may go back and add some watercolor or something, and you can't do that otherwise. Okay. Now, I'm using this for my fine details, which would be the flowers. And when I get to the words, I'll have to decide. I don't know yet. And I did have like a little twig coming out over here. I don't know if you noticed that. You may have to redraw your lines from memory if it covered it up a little bit. That's all right. We can do it. This poor flower did not really turn out the way I would have wanted it to, but it's okay. We move on. It's handmade, right? It's supposed to look hand drawn. Or we do it on the computer, right? Okay, there's that. Thank you. I think I will go ahead and just do it with this fine pen. I can always go back over it, but there's something light and airy about using a fine pen, and I make everything bold. So when I do something lighter, it just seems fun and different. I'm not happy with the way the blues look together yet because it needs something to separate them. And what I used were polka dots. I guess I didn't go back and add these words. You want to trace over these letters as much as you can because it will show up if not. Now I need to go back and add to the, I'll do that in a little bit. And then he will but it's coming to life now. Care. And I'll put 4 in a minute. Oh, I forgot I did this before y'all came on. Now, I'm not worried about this marker smearing. If I were using my glaze pen, I would be very, very careful because it takes longer to dry. Now, once it's dried, it's waterproof and everything, and it's great. But when you're messing with it, you can definitely smear it. I'm sure some of you already know that. And as you write it, say the scripture, learn the scripture as you go. Give your burdens to the Lord, and He will care for you. He will not permit the godly to slip and fall. And that's good to repeat it when you don't have them written there or you can't see them, because that way you really are going to memorize parts of it. The godly, and I do want to trace this. I didn't do the backside of the banner yet, but I will. But we want to trace this banner, make it stand out as well, or I do. Give your burdens to the... I do think that if you wanted to go back and make some words darker, that might look really good. He will care for, and I did 4 sideways here, for you to slip and fall. Okay, and then Psalm down here. Wait, it's supposed to be Psalms, isn't it? I think I wrote Psalm. Ow. Sorry. Okay, it says Psalm. Sometimes it says Psalms. Is that because there's multiple scriptures? I don't know. I don't know why I've never thought of that either. 22. Okay, and I want to draw around this, my oval here. And this little box. And now I want to make the outside a little different. I'm going to show you what, yeah, yeah, thanks, Shelly. I guess some people write Psalms if it's like 55:22 through 27. I have never thought of that until recently. Okay. I'm going to pull up the other one again and I'm going to show you. See how it has polka dots around it? I like the polka dots. So I'm going to attempt to do some kind of polka dots. And I will probably use maybe one of these markers because they're acrylic and I think they'll show up, but I'm not sure. So what I think is I'm going to start with this light blue. I don't think it's going to show up at all. And it is. And the reason I want to start with this is because it ties in that light color. And it gives it some personality. I mean, that's just a little something, but it really does add a lot. Now, it may not show up here. I'm afraid it's not going to show up here, but we'll see. And what I'm basically doing is making a number 5 on a die, where you make a dot and then dot, dot, a dot in the middle, 2 dots. That's not showing up very good at all. Huh. It's just going to show up good where the dark color is. Maybe I need some metallic. Metallic is always the answer. Always the answer. And I am looking at the lettering and I'm thinking, for me personally, I would like to darken up like Lord. And maybe he. I don't know. I just feel like, and maybe not, to kind of separate it from those other words. And if I do that, I may end up grabbing a glaze pen. Yes, metallic. Yes, metallic. I get a brand new glaze pen. I'm so excited. Y'all have a hard time finding these? I do. Of course, because I'm shopping online. Maybe you can find them easier in person. Oh, I could use a white gel pen too. Let's see. Let me do this first. Okay, since I'm using this glaze pen, remember, it's juicy, juicy, juicy. And I'm just going to go over this and make some down strokes. Yeah, I already like it better. For me. I just felt like this needed to be written over it. I'm just tracing just right over it, not really making it any thicker. But just this pen alone, making thicker and thin lines is kind of nice to do. If you want to. Okay, let me draw that a little bit. So the polka dot looked great in one spot, but not in the rest. So plan B would be to go around and either pick another color or do metallic. Metallic's always the answer. You can find them at my local art store cheaper than Amazon. Really, Jackie? That's great to know. So what's your local art, like local art store, like a mom and pop shop maybe? Okay, a couple things I haven't done is one, I haven't colored that in. And I'm gonna see what color this is. This is pink. I'm gonna add a little acrylic paint here. And it's pink. And I'm also gonna tie this in with my up here with my roses. And down here a little bit. Add a little bit of that pink. And then my metallic marker, I have my gold right here. This is a really big one though. Let me see if I can find my not so big one. I also have Sparkle Pop pen. Sparkle Pop pen might look good if I trace some lines too. Using a white charcoal pencil for the dots. Not in a long time, but I have used them before. I was going to see if y'all could see that sparkle. I'm going to do some dots with this and see what we think. But I think adding some of this to the actual, to this will make it tie in better. So like maybe go over he will and make this glitter as well. It's hard for y'all to see. Do you like the gold dots? Yes, Uniball white gel pen. That's what I normally use. Then I started thinking metallic might be fun. And this is just that Sparkle Pop pen, which any metallic would look pretty. This is, I guess, more of a glitter than a metallic. But it's metallic too. Metallic glitter. I don't know. Oh, absolutely, Tammy. Glad you were here. See ya. And I'm just going to go over these dots that I already had because that did not last. I forgot how much I like these Sparkle Pops. Do you see what I mean about the number 5 on a die? Just in case you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, lady. I'll do it right here. Dot, 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 and one in the middle. You know, like a die. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here as I go. So there's the dot, 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 dot in the middle. Here's the middle one. And then the dot, dot. So there's the 5 there. Put one in the middle. It just kind of helps you with separating them out, knowing where to put them. It doesn't have to be perfect by any means, but sometimes we're like, what? I don't know where to put another one. Okay, there's our little polka dots. And then I may, add a little bit of gold here and there. I wonder what happened if I just tried to cover that up. Oh, much better. Much, much better. I also have other color Sparkle Pops that might be pretty to color in some of these flowers. Okay, do you see that? I've made that so much better. Do you see that flower that I had kind of messed up? Look how much better it is with that gold glitter on that. kind of helped my little mistake there. I might go over this even. Kind of fun and sparkly. So I'm just going to keep playing and let you keep playing. Hopefully you were inspired. Yes, yes, the sparkle pens are so great. Hopefully you're inspired to try something new, and hopefully I did enough to where you're like, I don't want to do it like that, or I do want to do it like that. I even kind of now want to outline around, in a way, I kind of want to outline around here. But then I'm like, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. And if I wanted to make it all bold, I would go back and add more black. Like make the lines black. I may go over these lines just to make it all a little bit darker, just because that's just my style. But not all of it. Maybe give and burdens, care and you. Yeah. And then when I'm finished, I'll post it in the group. And you post yours in the group too, right? I sure hope you will. Now, if you want to learn how to do this on the iPad, I'll see you tomorrow at 1. Okay. And then next week, Jenny will have a challenge for you. And then the next week, I pick up my daughter from Dallas. And so we won't do mystery lettering the 4th week like we normally do, because there is actually a 5th week in this month. So we'll do it on the 5th week, which I think is the 29th. Let me look again. And if you weren't watching in the beginning, not the 29th. Yes, the 29th on a Monday. And if you weren't watching in the beginning, I did show how the bag that we're going to make. If you want to make that bag, you'll get the templates and everything, and you can put it on any kind of, it doesn't have to be a bag. It can be any kind of surface. All righty. Have a wonderful day. Love you guys. Bye.